A lot of penalties, and T.I. was in the penalty box most of the game, but they were very impressed by Thousand Islands and how good they are this year.
Well, the Sandstoner Raider battle continues here tonight, or resumes, I should say, coming off of last year's dramatic overtime victory in the sectional championship. The Raiders down 4-0 in that big game that you and John did, and come storming back. But these two clubs pretty evenly matched. A long lineup changes tonight, Jerry. We'll talk about
for
that
both
as the game
teams,
goes
as a
on.
matter of fact. And we're underway off the face-off. Puck controlled by the Raiders. They dump it ahead, and it trickles across the Potsdam line, picked up by the Soners. They control D to D, move it from Williams to Ledger. Mark Williams, a veteran defenseman, and now there's an icing call on Potsdam, which will move the face-off back in their zone. But we remember Mark from last year. He's a good defenseman and anchors that defensive core for the Potsdam Sandstoners.
One of the combinations the Raiders have thrown together tonight, A.J. Tubolino centering Sean Petrie on one side and Jeremy Hadler on the other. David Rogers with Adam Smith and Trent Thomas on the wings.
A couple of academic ineligibilities to deal with tonight. We'll talk about that in a moment. Right off the face-off, the puck slides in on Bradshaw, and he's going to cover it up. That eighth grader, Eddie Slade, is out tonight for academic problems, and Justin Lanning is out.
Mark Darling and Kyle Cameron and Jared Bradish on the wings, with Matt Supernall centering Zeppi Ogene and Matt Hatch.
Out now, it's Rogers with Thomas and Smith for Massena. And the official coming down, Dick Christie, one of the officials, along with, who's the other official?
Kevin O'Neill.
Kevin O'Neill. So the face-off back in the Potsdam zone. Holson will take the draw for the Sandstoners. And off the face-off, Potsdam controls, and it trickles out to center ice. Picked up right there, and right back in comes Jake Whitcup. He takes it across, looking to center, knocked down in front, and along the boards it comes. Chris Taylor tries to clear the zone. It's kept in by Massena. In behind the net, David Rogers trying to dangle with it. He'll flip it in the corner for Adam Smith. Smith trying to step by a check. He's checked out of the play. The puck comes bouncing in behind. There's a battle for it there. And finally, the Stoners will pick it up, but don't clear the zone as Whitcup takes it in to Trent Thomas. Thomas steps by the check. Rogers, his shot. Save made, and a good one, and the puck cleared out to center ice. So Richard Bradshaw gets his first tough chance and makes a good save.
That first one is always the toughest, and that was a tough save.
Yes, it was. A.J. Tubolino has it knocked away. Miller picks it up. A.J. has to get back on side. Miller has to circle back to his own blue line. He'll flip it on the wing, and it's dumped in the zone. Deep inside Potsdam territory. Bradshaw comes out from behind and plays the puck. Around the boards it goes, kept in momentarily by Labarge, but now it's poked free out to center ice. Back there is Hadler. Hadler flips it on the backhand, intercepted by Ben Schilling for Potsdam in his own end. He'll flip it ahead to Ledger. Ledger moves to the Massena line. Labarge is there. He circles. Labarge, headman back out to the neutral zone. The puck bouncing around, picked up there by Massena. Here's the shot, and that one got through Bradshaw, hit the side of the net. Bouncing in behind. That shot taken. Side of the net by Sean Petrie. Here's a puck bouncing in the slot, but is cleared in behind the net. Petrie can't find the handle. Picking it up there for the Potsdam Sandstoners as they try to move it ahead is Burrows. Now the puck comes to the blue line. Finally, it's poke check to the Massena line, but intercepted there by Patrick Horan. Horan will drop for Labarge, who goes to Tubolino. Tubolino looks up ice. His pass deflected. Intercepted at the Potsdam line. Right back come the Sandstoners. Nick Miller dumps right on. And I think we're going to have a bench minor against Massena for too many men on the ice.
The official coming to the Dick Christie coming to the box, and it is going to be a bench minor. Too many men on the ice. Long drifting shot. The Stoners' first shot on goal from about 75 feet. For the first 2.5 minutes, the play has been down in the Potsdam end, but Potsdam going on the power play.
So a tough penalty to take, that bench minor for too many men on the ice.
It is, and everyone should know their assignment. It's somebody didn't pick up his man, or two guys thought they were supposed to replace the same forward coming off.
Off the face-off, puck controlled by the Stoners. Back to the point, they fake the shot, and bouncing puck as Miller tries to do some damage. Now it's Alan Borden behind the net, trying to control Luke Holson. Holson takes it into the corner, bounces it ahead to Nick McAdoo. Back to the point, here's a shot, knocked down, and then grabbed by Leroy Swamp. And holding on for the face-off. Do we have another penalty?
I don't believe so. I think it's just a face-off to the left of Swamp.
The official over talking to the scorer's table, but you're right. We're going to have a face-off. That shot taken from the point by Mark Williams. Okay, that's what it is. The clock didn't start, so they're going to take some time off the clock.
Dick Christie taking charge of this game right off the bat. So
the faceoff will be inside Massena territory. Potsdam on the power play. No score on the IceHogs custom screen printing scoreboard. Massena Potsdam, kind of a disappointing crowd, Coach.
It is for Potsdam Massena. Looking across the way, very small crowd.
Off the faceoff, puck in the corner. Holson gets tied up by Miller, and the whistle blows. And again, I've noticed this year they do not let them fight in the tie-ups in the corner, and that's a good move, I think.
The opposition 3 for 14, 21% on the power play.
Here's Williams' shot, hits a leg and goes into the corner. Miller picks it up, cranks it ahead, doesn't clear the zone. Kept in there, now it's dumped into the corner by Williams, as Williams just stuck his skate out and blocked it. Now the puck picked up by Thomas. He doesn't clear the zone. Here's a drive, and Leroy Swamp will make the save as he saw it all the way. That shot coming over from the other point.
Heavy shot from Corey Burkume on that left point. Only problem with that shot, didn't get it down, got it up high where Leroy had no problem right in the old midsection. But good heavy shot from big number 13, Corey Burkume.
Now we've got a change for Potsdam as Nick Miller comes out to take the face off. Massena sending A.J. Tubolino out. Off the draw, the puck high over the net. And Dan Miller looks for it, picks it up, takes it in behind the net, then gets tied up in the corner, but stays with it. Finally kicks it free, trying to move it along the boards. Miller still wasting time. It squirts away to the side of the net. Miller kicks it free and comes up with it, turns back the other way. Now he'll turn it around. He's upended, and the puck finally picked up by the Stoners, goes to the side of the net, bounces in behind. The Raiders do clear it down the ice. A couple of chances to clear, they didn't. It almost came back and bit them.
Well, Danny Miller doing a lot of individual work down there, killing a lot of time.
Tubolino out by the blue line. It bounces off a leg out to center ice, dumped right back in by Massena defenseman Patrick Horan. In to pick it up, the Sandstoners, Mark Williams with it. Williams captain for this club, and he moves it ahead with 2 seconds left of the man advantage. So the Raiders kill off the bench minor for too many men on the ice. Now the puck goes right in front of the penalty box. Stolen away, Hadler. He dumps it in the Potsdam zone. Sandstoners pick it up and move it ahead to the Massena zone and dump it in the corner. Horan chasing in after it. He gathers it in behind the net. Gets double teamed. The puck squirts free. Along the boards it goes. There's a battle there. Dumps in behind the net again. Racing for it is Horan. He loses it to Holson. Holson, nice wraparound attempt, and then lost the puck side of the net. Horan comes back, picks it up, flips it on the wing. Hadler pokes it ahead, doesn't clear the zone, dumped right back into the corner. Horan takes a whack at it. Potsdam controls, and there's a short side shot by Holson, but it's blocked by Leroy Swamp. Stoners trying to put some pressure on. Massena controls the puck. They'll flip it down the ice, and it will not go far enough for icing, as back to pick it up for the Sandstoners. They'll turn it around the other way. Holson takes it across. Offsides will be the call, and the faceoff will come just outside the zone.
Luke Holson doing an excellent job out there for checking. Had the Raiders bottled up in their own end. Holson centering line with Nick McAdoo on the right side and Chris Taylor on the left side.
Faceoff just outside the Potsdam or Massena zone, I should say, and it's dumped in the zone off the draw. The puck comes to Miller. Miller steps by the check, has it knocked away. Now the bouncing puck comes free, picked up by Mark Darling. Darling along the wing to Zepi Ogene. It trickles out to center ice. Here comes Darling, follows up, gloves it down, but it'll be offsides as Kyle Cameron in ahead of the play. And we'll have a face-off just outside Potsdam territory.
Kyle was about 1.5 feet offside, and he was trying to stretch his 5'9" frame into about 6'9", but not successful.
9:55 left, first period, no score on the IceHogs custom screen printing scoreboard. Potsdam controls the puck off the faceoff. They look to move it ahead. It goes by everybody to the Massena line where Miller picks it up for the Raiders. Miller down the sideline, trying to flip it ahead to Rogers. It's tied up there right below us. Miller to Rogers. He backhands it just across the blue line, but it's intercepted there by Mark Williams for Potsdam. Williams gets by one, takes in the Massena zone, poked away, following up. It's dumped in behind the net by the Stoners. They move it around the horn to the blue line, out to center ice, back in to lay off sides. Massena's going to clear the zone anyway. And in the zone it goes. Jacob Whitka dumps it in behind the net. Picked up on the defense by Ryan Williams. Williams trying to go around the zone. It's knocked away. and Adam Smith almost had a piece of it, but now Potsdam will pick it up and dump it down the length of the ice, and icing will be the call on the Stoners.
Ebb and flow. The first 2 minutes belonged to Massena at territorial edge and good pressure. Then they took that bench minor, and the momentum has shifted over to the Sandstoners here in the last couple of minutes.
A.J. Tubolino to take the draw. Face-off left side in the Potsdam zone. Off the draw, the puck bounces high slot. Picked up Labarge's shot. Bradshaw makes the save and covers up for the face-off.
Evan Labarge's shot from about 40 feet out, no traffic at all, and young Richard Bradshaw had no problems handling that one. Face-off to the right, deep, right of Bradshaw, deep in the Stoner end.
Tubolino to take the draw. Off the face-off, Potsdam wins it. They try to move it ahead, but it's stolen away. Here's Petrie, backhand pass in front. Tubolino shot. Bradshaw makes a big save as Tubolino was behind the defense, and Petrie got it to him, and he got the shot off, but a good save.
Great save, and then he able to corral the rebound. A grievous turnover by number 2, Schilling, as he was stripped of the puck by number 18, Sean Petrie. Beautiful pass, and A.J. Tubolino down below the dot. A.J. walked right in, but couldn't beat Bradshaw.
Off the face-off, the puck sits side of the net. Bouncing in front, shot, save made again. This time it was Hadler who got the shot off, and another big save by Bradshaw. Puck comes bouncing free. Around the boards it goes. Here's Chad Hazen. Doesn't clear. Labarge's shot deflected right on. Good save by Bradshaw. Again, nice deflection by Tubolino right in front.
Several outstanding opportunities. Jeremy Hadler having the best one right in front, but then puck coming back to the point, and Evan Labarge, nice low shot. A.J. Tubolino in front, redirected just the way you practice it, but again, Richard Bradshaw equal to the task.
Mark Darling out to take the face-off. Wins the draw. Back to Labarge. Labarge waits. Fanned on the shot. Gets it back again. This time he gets a weak one off, and Bradshaw makes the save. He had a little more traffic the first time, but he missed the puck.
Embarrassing moments for a defenseman as he went to shoot the puck. He just fanned on it. Evan Labarge going to the bench. Little grin on his face. But the Raiders now have regained the momentum in the last several seconds here.
Face-off inside Potsdam territory. Draw one by Potsdam. Williams with it. He flips it down the ice, and that will go far enough for icing. And the face-off will come back inside Potsdam territory. 8:26 left, first period, and it's a 0-0 score on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard here at the Pine Street Arena in Potsdam.
You don't mind those icings. When if you can't formulate something, you just dump it out of there, take the icing, regroup. And that's what the Stoners have been doing.
Darling wins the faceoff to Miller. Miller tries to slide it through. Darling shot. That went off a leg. In behind the net it goes. The puck stolen. Here's a shot. Cameron bouncing around. And finally it's going to be cleared down the ice again. And this one will not go to icing because it's going to go right in on Leroy. And he's going to leave it off for Massena's defenseman, Whitcup. Whitcup a little problem, but he throws a check. The puck squirts free. Stoners control. Here's the shot in front. Bounces in behind the net. Bouncing into the corner. Chris Taylor out there doing a good job forechecking for Potsdam. He's got the puck, slides it right on. Save made, takes a funny bounce off the backboard, but is picked up by Miller. Miller's headman doesn't clear the zone. Dumped into the corner. Well, didn't make it to the corner as Miller blocked it. Finally, he's picked up by Darling. Nice headman pass. Here comes Zeppi Ogene on the off wing with Cameron. Zeppi breaks in. He's got room. Backhand pass right across the crease, and Miller was tied up. Couldn't get it free. Here's Zeppi in the corner. Zeppi takes it top of the circle, trying to slide it through. It bounces into the corner. Racing after it there is Miller. He can't come up with it. It's over on the other side to Mark Williams. Williams looks for the headman. Out to center ice it goes. Darling is there to pick it up from the red line, dumps it right back in Potsdam zone, right on Bradshaw. He'll have to make the save. Now it's Rogers throwing a check behind the net. The puck squirts free, slides in front of the net, but coming back to pick it up is Nick Miller for Potsdam. He'll start it out. Bounce pass off the boards. Potsdam trying to break into the zone. That's Chad Hazen. He'll dump it in behind the Massena net. Labarge is there to flip it around the boards. Miller steps in front. Goes back to Hazen. Hazen circles from behind the net. Here's Hazen in the corner. He'll drop it back in behind. Hazen again. Hazen circles. He's tied up by Rogers. Manages to get it free to Miller. Miller and Labarge go together. Rogers skates away with a puck. Loses it right in front of the net. Bouncing puck controlled nicely by Labarge. He'll lift it in the air out to center ice. Now the puck dumped into Potsdam territory by Trent Thomas. The Potsdam D back to clear it. Down the ice it goes. But it touched somebody, so icing will be waved off. And Patrick Horan races back in after it. Here's Horan in the corner. He flips it on the boards to the blue line. Did it get out of the zone? It did not. Here's an opportunity for Ledger. Ledger trying to center the shot. The save made. Puck goes bouncing into the corner. Patrick Horan gets taken out of the play. Nick Miller comes up with a puck. Short side shot. Leroy makes the save. Miller picks up the rebound behind the net. Dangles in front. The shot in behind the net. Great opportunity there for Wilmart, and he just missed. Puck clear to the blue line. Not out of the zone. Bouncing finally. Raiders Rogers picks it up. Flips it to the blue line. Still not out of the zone. Bouncing, high slot. Here's the shot. Save made. Rebound picked up off the net by Horan. Horan looks, he's going to just ice it off the glass. But will it go far enough for icing? It will. Thomas will try. No, it touched somebody. So the puck is cleared by the goaltender Bradshaw into the corner. Petrie is there to flip it by a check. Backhand dumped out to center ice, down the ice. This time I think it will go far enough for icing. And a lot of action in the last few minutes. 5:31 left in the first period. No score on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard.
Best opportunity for the Stoners right there. Number 10, Nick Miller, doing a great job in behind the net. He found number 20, Cody Wilmart, all alone in front, 15 feet out, and Wilmart fired it wide.
Off the draw, puck in the circle. Here's a shot right on. Bradshaw makes a save with a big blocker on the shot by Petrie. Potsdam controls, banking it down the ice. Will it cross the blue? No, they got it there before it could be icing. And the puck bouncing along the boards. Here's a backhand shot, goes into the corner. Tubolino throws a check, but the puck squirts free. It's Joe Russell. Russell flips it in behind the net. After it, the Raiders try to clear it. That's Jacob Whitcup, doesn't clear the zone. Bouncing puck knocked down in front. And it will be poked into Whitcup, who gets knocked down. There's going to be a penalty on Potsdam.
Yeah, Joe Russell's going to get the gate for tripping. An innocent call, but, I mean, he didn't intend to do it, but most penalties are like that. And hooked the Raider in his exuberance to get after the puck. The Raider player trying to go behind the net, and Russell just pulled the feet out from under him as he was reaching for the puck. And Raiders going to go on the power play with 4:59 left in the period.
No score in the hockey game. It will be David Rogers out there to take the faceoff. Wins the draw to Miller. Miller in his own end as he starts out. Here comes Danny Miller building up ahead of steam. Takes it in the corner, Potsdam zone. In behind the net, Miller gets tied up, gets it back again. He'll flip it to Petrie. Petrie trying to come up with it. He does side of the net. Short side shot. Bradshaw gets the rebound. It bounces around, and somehow Richard Bradshaw ties it up and holds on for the faceoff.
Danny Miller getting a massage down low, and I think the Stoners are going to pick up another penalty. It's going to be a cross-checking as Miller's got himself down low, and the puck came out in front. He was diving and digging for that puck, and one of the Stoners players, I didn't get the number, was cross-checked him from behind and picked up a penalty. Raiders going to go a two-man advantage for at least a minute 12 seconds. Face off to the right of Bradshaw.
Off the draw, Raiders win the face-off. Comes back to Evan LaBarge. LaBarge goes to Miller. High slot, winds up the drive, and the save is made. And the puck goes all the way back to center ice.
Richard Bradshaw got that left hand on it. A cannonading drive from Miller from the right point.
Now the Raiders dump it in, but it's picked up by Williams. In behind the net, he's got some room. He'll flip it around the boards. Nice play by Williams. The puck cleared, down the ice it goes. It'll come all the way in on Swamp. He'll play the puck ahead and out to center ice, but it's picked up there by Potsdam. They'll dump it right back in the Massena zone.
Two-man advantage. Should never dump the puck in. Carry it in.
Here comes LaBarge with it. Potsdam down two. Raiders, again, pass the puck in the zone, but it's going to be picked up by the Stoners. They'll move it to the blue line, but kept in that time by Miller. Miller bounce pass in front. Petrie has it poked away, but it goes back to LaBarge. LaBarge steps by the check. Here's LaBarge. Gets a shot on the rebound. Petrie in behind the net. Here's Petrie with it around the boards. About 10 seconds left on the first penalty. Petrie. It's not cleared. Here's the shot deflected right up. Great save by Bradshaw as that one was misdirected.
Danny Miller from the point, a drive, and David Rogers parked about 20 feet out, got a stick on it and changed its direction. But again, young Mr. Bradshaw equal to the task. I don't know. We don't have a shot Sal with us tonight, so we can't look at the unofficial shots, but he's had at least 5 or 6 excellent opportunities. The Raiders 5 or 6 excellent opportunities and have been stymied by young Mr. Bradshaw. Face off deep in the Potsdam to the left of Richard Bradshaw. Raiders still
for 5 seconds.
For 5 seconds.
Yeah. It'll be Tubolino. He wins the draw. Hadler's shot. He fired it wide. Puck goes all the way back to the point. LaBarge, now 1 penalty as he laps. LaBarge goes into the corner. Cameron with it. Cameron gets tied up. Hadler comes in to help out, slides the puck back to Labarge at the point. He'll go to Miller. Miller winds, fakes, goes back to Labarge. Nice pass. Labarge winds his shot through traffic. Rebound! Oh, stick on the ice would have had a goal. Hadler was hanging around in front of the net, but didn't have a stick on the ice. Now the puck in behind. Cameron with it. Nice move. Fade. Oh, in front. Hadler couldn't corral that one, and Potsdam controls. And that'll take care of the power play. And the Sandstoners managed to kill it off. Raiders with some chances, but to no avail. Still 0-0. Stoners control the puck at their own blue line, poked away by Hadler. Hadler gets it free. Tubolino crosses the blue line, tries to flip it ahead, but it's knocked away by the Stoners. That's Wilmart. He'll move it back to the Massena line. Across the blue line it goes. Labarge is there to flip it ahead for Massena. Out to the neutral zone. It trickles back into Potsdam territory. Stoners control in their own end. Long headman pass. Labarge steps in front of that. Here's Evan Labarge trying to barge his way across. Has it knocked away. It's kept in at the point, however. And the puck comes in behind the net, where it's picked up by Mark Williams. Williams being bothered by Trent Thomas, but he's got a man breaking, and he feeds it down the ice. They wave icing off because he touched the puck. Miller picks it up behind his own net. He'll rip it around the boards. Adam Smith coming back, picks it up. Smith turns it around, feeds Thomas. He's got Rogers with him. Thomas takes it across, winds up, and the drive is deflected by defenseman. Puck in the corner, cleared around by the Stoners. Chad Hazen with it. He flips it along the boards, kept in at the point by the Massena defenseman, Jacob Whitcup. He'll flip it back in behind the net. Williams is there to move it around. Whitcup steps in front. Rogers comes up with a puck. Whitcup can't control. It's out to center ice. Miller's there at the red line. Miller takes it back the other way. Here's Danny Miller, stick handling into the corner. Miller in behind the net. Still got it. Here's Miller with it. He'll drop it in behind. And it's intercepted there by Potsdam's Nick Miller. Doesn't clear. Rogers backhand pass intercepted, but he gets it back. Here's Rogers. Sharp angle right on the dot. It bounces in behind the net. Picked up by the Raiders. Rogers short side backhand attempt. The bouncing puck still at side of the net. Finally Potsdam picking it up. They'll flip it ahead. Kept in by Miller. Miller takes the check and then flips it in behind the net. Now Massena with some good pressure here. It's gone both ways in this game. Puck in behind. They finally tie it up. And we'll have a face-off with 1:01 left in the first period. Still no score on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard.
And that was good sustained pressure. Messina having Potsdam bottled up in their own end, and Stoners unable to solve that forecheck. Jeremy Hadler hasn't dented the twines yet this year for the Raiders, but I'll tell you, he had a glorious opportunity just moments ago, one-on-one in front with Bradshaw, and couldn't stuff it by him.
Tubolino out to take the draw for Massena. Face-off right side in the Potsdam zone. Tubolino wins it. Hadler back to the point. It goes through Horn's legs out to center ice. Here comes Potsdam's Joe Russell, and Horn gets back to tie him up. Puck in behind the net. Russell escapes the check, flips it in behind. Now Horn throws a check. It squirts free. Here comes Tubolino. Tubolino building up the head of steam. Here comes Tubolino right down the middle. Takes it across. Makes the move into the corner. Lost his edge. Gets back up again. Still has the puck. He's double teamed. Now coming in to help out is Petrie. And we have a whistle.
Again, I think it's just a quick whistle, as you mentioned, along the boards. They don't waste any time. Puck just lays there for a nanosecond, and you got a whistle and a face-off. But good, outstanding hustle and hard work by Captain A.J. Tubolino. Just as he's a whirling dervish out there all over the place, and just a thorn in the side of especially the Sandstoner defense.
Face-off will be in the Potsdam zone with 34 seconds left in the period. No score in the hockey game. Off the draw. The puck comes back to the point. Labarge cranks at it. Or that's Miller, excuse me. It's knocked down. Here comes Potsdam into the Massena zone, and there's going to be a penalty on the Raiders, as trying to bust his way through is Joe Russell, and had he would have had a breakaway.
Yeah, and Evan Labarge is going to get a minute and a half for hooking, and again, it was a good penalty, but the defense didn't react quick enough when they were spectators instead of participants. Massena lost the draw. It's drifting back towards the defense, and they both kind of froze and allowed the Potsdam player to get that half a stride on him, and Evan Labarge had to put the hook on him to prevent a breakaway.
Tubolino to take the face-off in the Massena zone. Off the draw, Potsdam wins it. Back to the point. They move it around the horn with 20 seconds left. Here's a shot knocked down in the equipment of Tubolino, or excuse me, Horn. He'll flip it into the corner. Picked up by Chris Taylor. Taylor in behind the net. Passes to McAdoo. McAdoo has it poked away, but it goes back to the blue line. Here's a drive through traffic. I don't think that got through. 4 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. And the buzzer sounds as Tubolino steals the puck. So the Raiders dodge a power play bullet there. And we've played a period of high school hockey.
Through 6 games and doing a great job, and the coaches have a lot of confidence in him. He's out here killing this penalty to start the second period.
A.J. Tubolino will take the faceoff for Massena. It'll be Whitcup and Miller, the 2 defensemen, and Tubolino wins the faceoff, flips in the Potsdam zone. Stoners controlling their own end, just looking to move it ahead. They'll dump it to the Massena line. It trickles in the zone. Whitcup chasing in after it. He'll pick it up, skates in front of his net, and finds the hole and dumps it down the ice. And the whistle blows, and we got a penalty behind the play. Didn't see it happen, but Potsdam's going to pick up a holding call.
It is a hole. It's going to be number 3 for the Stoners, and that's going to be Luke Holson. And boy, those are killers. Behind the play, you're on a power play. The opposition dumps the puck, and you're not even involved in the play, and you come up with a holding call.
That'll even things up here at 4-on-4 for the next 48 seconds, and then the Raiders will have a shortened power play.
Face off outside the Massena blue line.
Tubolino stays out there. Hadler comes out now. Miller and Whitcup stay out there. It'll be Chris Taylor taking the face-off for Potsdam. Taylor comes up with the puck, trying to barge his way into the Massena zone. It's knocked away. Picked up by Hadler. Trying to go ahead to Miller. The puck knocked free. Hadler picks it up, flips it ahead, has it knocked away. The puck will trickle in the Massena zone. Coming out to play it was Leroy Swamp. He played it right up the middle. Fortunately, Potsdam thought he was going to play it into the corner, and the puck is dumped back out to center ice, right back in the Massena zone. Some bodies flying there as Whitcup picks up the loose puck, skates behind his own net, turns around, being bothered by Chris Taylor. He'll drop to Danny Miller. Miller steps by the check and starts out. Here's Miller by a check. Miller takes it down the sideline. He's got Hadler with him. Danny Miller does a shift. In front, shot, fired it wide. Oh, boy. If that had been on net, that would have been in the net.
Great
Back
move.
to the blue line. Kept in. No, it wasn't.
Danny Miller down that right side, again showing that burst of speed. And number 3, Jeremy Hadler, is really playing with a chip on his shoulder tonight. Saw some bench time the other night, I'm saying it's really spurred him on. He's flattened 4 or 5 players here this early going. He just put a lick on big Mark Williams right here in front of us and flattened him right on his backside.
Kevin O'Neill, the official, taking a little heat from the Massena bench. Good-natured heat. Kevin a little out of position to make the call, but he did make it, and it was an offside. Off the faceoff, puck inside Potsdam territory. Here's Rogers, centering pass in front, fired just wide by Petrie. Great pass. Petrie got the shot off, but it was wide. Puck in behind the net. There's a battle for it. Trent Thomas digs it out of the corner. Here's Thomas in front to Miller, out by the high slot. Miller flips it along the boards. Has it tied up, comes up to Labarge, who shoots it right on, and it's gloved by Bradshaw. He'll hold on for the faceoff. Massena on the power play now.
45-footer from that left point. Evan Labarge picking up a loose puck along the boards and drifting one, and no traffic, and Richard Bradshaw had no problems gloving that one. Faceoff to Bradshaw's right.
David Rogers to take the draw, wins the faceoff. Thomas back to Miller at the point, back to Thomas at the 45. Thomas takes it back toward the blue line, tries to fire it through, gets it back again, goes to Rogers, back in front, shot scored, Petrie! Petrie in front as Massena scores a power play goal, and the Raiders take the lead 1-0.
Good puck movement, and Sean Petrie left all alone out in that slot, about 12 feet out in front. The Raiders worked it along the boards on that left side, down low in behind to the right of Bradshaw, and I think that was David Rogers. We'll wait and see who threw it out in front, but Sean Petrie all alone, no one laid a glove on him, and he just rifled a low one and beat Richard Bradshaw glove side low, and the Raiders up 1-0. I think that is a power play.
Yeah, we got to give, yes it is, we got to give Rogers, and I'm going to give Trent Thomas an assist on it until we hear differently.
Okay.
Off the face-off, you agree with that, Coach?
I do agree with that.
Okay, off the face-off, the puck in the neutral zone. Evan Labarge. Labarge tries to flip it ahead, but it's intercepted there by Ben Schilling. Not out of the zone. Here's Kyle Cameron's shot is gloved by Bradshaw, and he's going to hold on for the faceoff.
I try to pick up that PA system, but it's almost an impossible task. We're right above the PA system, and it sounds like he's talking in a in a muffled tone. I can't make out. Sean Petrie is going to get the goal, and that is goal number 2 for Sean Petrie. We'll give it to Rogers and Thomas on the assist, but that's the assist unofficial. We know that Sean Petrie got the goal.
Yep. Our colleagues are going downstairs to check it out, so when they come back up, maybe we can get a little heads up from them and find out. In the meantime, we're back to action here as Potsdam controls the puck into the Massena zone. It's turned into a 2-on-1, but getting back is Evan Labarge to break up the play. And back comes Mark Darling with it. Headman pass. Raiders break it. Now they're going to go the other way. And Cameron couldn't quite catch up with a pass. And icing will be the call, as trying to headman was Jared Bradish. And had Cameron been a half a stride ahead, he would have got that and been in all alone.
And back at the other end, just a super defensive play by Evan Labarge as he negated a good scoring opportunity by the Stoners. Looked like they were in free, but as it was a 2-on-1, and Labarge got a stick across and redirected the puck, or if not, the Potsdam player in free.
Off the faceoff, back to the point. Potsdam will dump the puck in the corner. Here's a sharp angle shot that doesn't go anywhere, and the Raiders break it out. Here comes Tubolino, does a shift. He's got one man to beat now. Tubi takes it across, gets by, and the shot right on. And Bradshaw makes the save, flips it ahead. Petrie trying to dig it out of the corner. Petrie gets triple teamed. The puck squirts free, but there to help out is Hadler. Here's Hadler in the corner. Hadler, bounce pass intercepted. Puck tied up in behind the net, and the faceoff will come as Lester Gale out there to tie it up. There's another guy whose dad I know very well, went to high school with, Lester Gale Sr., and hard to believe.
We were right on those assists.
Really?
Sean Petrie had no question of that, but David Rogers and Trent Thomas picking up the assist.
Tubolino back out to take the draw for Massena. Wins the faceoff. Here's Petrie's shot. It's knocked down on the defense by Mark Williams. Williams loses its side of the net, but there's a whistle. And we're going to have a tripping call, and I think that's going to go against Massena, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, because when the Raiders touched the puck, it came out to the side of the net, and Jeremy Hadler was all alone, and the whistle blew. Let's see who's the gate scoping up for, and is it going to be Danny Miller? Okay, Danny's just questioning the call. I can't see.
Tubolino, I believe.
Is it AJ went in the box? Okay.
Yep.
Again, our vantage spot to see who goes in the penalty box is, it's almost nil. It's directly below us. We're right at center ice above the penalty benches.
So the Raiders have to kill another one off here. They have a power play goal. Let's see if they can kill the Potsdam penalty. Here comes Williams, barging his way through, centers it. The pass that got away from the Potsdam forward, and it's knocked into the corner and then cleared down the ice by Massena. Raiders looking to kill. We've got Adam Smith out there, Trent Thomas, Whitcup, and Danny Miller. Potsdam's Williams with a puck behind his own net. He'll flip it ahead on the wing. Here come the Stoners. By the check is Holson. Holson takes it in on the off wing, sets up top of the circle. He'll go back to the point. Williams slides across, gets a shot right on. Save made by Swamp. Trent Thomas trying to come up with it. He can't. Puck in behind the net. Now it's Whitcup stealing. He looks for the hole and finds it, and down the ice it goes. About 45 seconds left in the man advantage. Potsdam back after it. They move it ahead. They got a man breaking. Here comes Potsdam's Holson shot. He fired it wide as Whitcup trying to get back. Here's a shot deflected in front. Bouncing in the slot. Save made by Leroy Swamp, and that's his best save of the game. And the puck cleared along the boards, and finally it's picked up by Rogers, and he'll just slide it out to center ice. About 23 seconds left in the penalty to the Massena Red Raiders. Petrie in there trying to forecheck in behind the net. Finally has it taken away, but he wastes a bit of time. Potsdam breaks out and dumps it down the ice, and that's got to be an icing call against the Stoners, and we'll move the faceoff back in their territory. 8 seconds left in the man advantage, 10:47 left in the second period. Coach's Corner scoreboard says 1-0 Massena.
Captain Mark Williams, really a power back there on defense, and that point man orchestrating this power play for the Stoners. The sent away number 3, Luke Holson, found him with a great pass just outside the blue line and sent him right in free, and Holson fired it wide.
Hadler taking the face-off. The puck goes in behind the Potsdam net. Ben Schilling there for the Stoners. He'll start out right side. Schilling off the boards. It's intercepted by Evan Labarge. Labarge has it knocked away. Into the Massena zone it comes, and the puck slides in front. Swamp makes the save. Where's the puck? Side of the net. Swamp was down and out, but the save was made. Puck back to the top of the circle. The shot is blocked. The rebound. Save made. Swamp. It's still free in the corner. They center it, but it's knocked away. Comes back to the blue line. Schilling cranks it up and misfired on it. Raiders break the other way. Here comes Massena. Tubolino. He went into the official. Gets it free to Hadler. Hadler's shot, and the save made by the goaltender Bradshaw. Back to the point. Kept in by Labarge, but his shot is blocked. He knocks it down. It's going to be delayed offsides on Massena, but the Raiders clear the zone. Raiders lead 1-0. Almost had their second there. It would have been a 2-on-none, except the official got in the way.
Oh, boy, I guess so.
Puck bouncing back in the Massena zone. Poke check to the blue line, out to center ice. Here comes Massena. Could be a 2-on-1 if they can get to the puck. Tubolino couldn't. Now Hadler picks it up. He'll backhand it in the zone. And the Raiders want to make a line change here. Out to center ice, long headman pass goes by everybody, and that'll be an icing call against Potsdam. Try to catch Massena on the line change, but the pass was too far ahead.
Oh, the Stoners got a big break, unintentional, of course. Massena, as the Potsdam putting on all kinds of pressure, were able to bust out, froze the defenseman on the blue line. It would have been a 2-on-none, but the puck and the player hit the referee. And but even so, Tubolino made a great pass across to Hadler, and he got robbed by the goaltender.
Here's Miller's shot, deflected right on, and the save made by Bradshaw, as the faceoff was won by Trent Thomas. Back to Miller.
Jeremy Hadler is getting his opportunities tonight. He hasn't any dent at the twines yet, but he's getting his opportunities.
Face-off right side in the Potsdam zone. 1-0 Massena. Coach's corner scoreboard. Off the draw it comes to Williams for Potsdam. He'll go over on the other side to his partner Ryan Williams, and he dumps it out to center ice. Miller's there. Here comes Danny Miller. Dumps it off to Adam Smith. Smith takes in the corner, gets a shot right on. Big rebound, but nobody there for Massena. Now bouncing it into the corner. Here comes Rogers in front. They move it, and Thomas couldn't get the good shot on it. It's out to center ice. Whitcup flips it ahead. Back in the Potsdam zone it goes. Mark Williams with it to Ryan Williams. Mark gets tied up behind the net, then flips it around as he just stepped by a check of Rogers. Now Trent Thomas cruising in. We have a whistle, though.
I think the gate came.
Oh, the gate came open. I was going to say I didn't see any penalty there, but they're going to blow the whistle and blow the play dead and hold on for the faceoff.
Some good hustle out there, an aggressive play by that line of Smith, Thomas, and Rogers. And Thomas and Rogers, a couple of thundering forechecks deep in the Stoner end.
Faceoff right side in the Potsdam zone. It's Mark Darling out there with Kyle Cameron. And let's see who's the winger, Jared Bradish. Off the faceoff, puck controlled by Miller, who's in the corner. He'll flip it behind the net, but it's intercepted there. And around the boards it comes, out to center ice, knocked away, bouncing around at the red line. Cameron throws a check, the puck's dumped in the Potsdam zone. Rips around the boards, and Bradish tries to come up with it. Now Miller in there battling for it with Shane Bisnett. The puck squirts free. Here's an opportunity. Burrows side of the net, but he's tied up. Burrows gets it behind the net, goes to the side. Here's a backhander, and it's cleared into the corner. Bodies flying all over the place as the puck cleared around the boards. Bradish just pokes it ahead. Smart little play. We got a penalty on Potsdam. Delay penalty, and the whistle blows. And I think that's going to be Russell going off.
Yeah, and of course, Dan Dorothy does not like it because the official right in front of the play did not make the call. I thought it was a good call. I think it's a good call. There was a tripping down there. In fact, I was going to comment. Potsdam dodged a penalty there. Should have had one. But the official right in front of him let it go. And the far side official 95 feet away made the call, and Coach Dan Dorothy has really got his dander up. I'll tell you, he's a little upset, and you say, and as a coach, you say, well, why didn't the guy right in front of him, why didn't he call it? Why are you making that call?
So Massena goes on the power play, off the faceoff, puck back in Massena territory. Dan Dorothy, the Potsdam coach, heck of a nice guy, really great guy, and I've known him forever too.
Second year at the helm, won the league last year.
That's right. Sure. Here comes Rogers, stick handling down into Potsdam territory. He'll drop it. Here's Petrie, winds up, hit the goalpost, in the net it goes as Rogers follows up and gets the power play goal, and the Raiders take a 2-0 lead.
David Rogers cruising through that neutral ice, gained the offensive zone. A beautiful drop pass for Sean Petrie out to the top of the circle on the left side. He fired a rocket, and it hit the right goalpost. I'm not sure if it was in or not. I don't think so.
Rogers got the goal,
and
Petrie gets the assist.
Cruising in, Rogers parked just off the crease, made sure, and batted in, and the Raiders take a 2-0 lead, and that's their second power play goal.
So it'll be Rogers from Petrie, I believe. I don't think there'll be another assist because Rogers made the initial pass. And the puck bounces into the Potsdam zone. It's covered up by the goaltender, and we'll have a face-off. So the Raiders gone out to a 2-0 lead here on 2 power play goals in the second period. We're just about at the midway point of the hockey game.
And that power play hadn't been too productive, 3 for 27 coming into tonight's game, but 2 here tonight.
Off the face-off, Whitcup can't keep it in the zone. Miller is there to pick it up and dump it back. Raiders get onside as the puck goes in behind the net. Stoners control it in the corner. Around the boards it goes, kept in by Rogers, winds up, shot, Bradshaw makes the save, leaves it in behind. Picked up there by Trent Thomas. Back to the point. Miller back to Thomas. Thomas back to Miller. Trying to go through traffic, but it's going to be iced by Potsdam. And the whistle will blow. And the faceoff will move back inside Potsdam territory. 2-0 Massena leading. 7:19 left in the second period on the Coach's Corner scoreboard.
Both goals coming here in this second period. Both power play goals. That second one, David Rogers' second goal of the year. Sean Petrie, who had that first goal, picking up the assist. Again, a power play goal at the 7:06 mark.
And that one, Petrie blasted it and went bink, hit flat on the post and sat there, and Rogers smartly followed the shot and got the goal.
Started it and finished it.
That's right. Off the face-off, Raiders, Patrick Horan loses it in front, but it's getting back to knock it away as Evan LaBarge. LaBarge has had an outstanding game here this evening. Raiders move it ahead. Trying to clear it out to center ice. Hadler goes to Tubolino. Tubolino takes it across. Winds up the shot. The save made by Bradshaw. He'll hold on for the faceoff.
Raiders really energized right now, and Captain A.J. Tubolino having a lot of jump, a lot of speed here tonight as he jumped down that left side and gained the zone and fired a quick snapshot that kind of caught Richard Bradshaw by surprise, but Bradshaw was able to jump up and corral it and hold on for the rebound, hold on for the faceoff.
Tubolino will take the draw. Bouncing puck goes in behind the net. Hadler with it. Centering pass in front. Tubolino. Great save. Tubolino gets the rebound. Great save by Bradshaw. Quick leg. And here comes Potsdam back the other way into the Massena zone. Nick McAdoo loses it at the blue line. Delay offsides. They finally did call the delay on Potsdam. Raiders control, though. Bouncing it out to center ice. Right back is Holson. He'll dump it into the corner. Massena zone. In behind the net. It's picked up by Jake Whitcup. Whitcup kind of gets bothered, trying to flip it back. He has it stolen away. Back to the blue line. Here's a shot knocked down by Tubolino. He gathers it in. Here comes Tubolino with Hadler. Tubolino takes it across, gets a shot, and fires it wide. Use the defenseman for a screen. Back to the point. Miller keeps it in. Danny Miller steps by a check. The puck bounces free to the blue line, but nobody there for Massena as Miller pinched in, and it goes all the way back in the Massena zone. Jacob Whitcup coming back to pick it up. He'll flip it to Miller ahead to Tubolino. Tubolino lost it off the end of his stick, but the bouncing puck in the corner, and it will be picked up by Hadler. Headman, Darling. Darling kind of underskates it, and the puck comes bouncing free as the Stoners pick it up. Dump it to the Massena line. Whitcup is there to flip it ahead to the Potsdam line. Raiders lead 2-0. Puck, Darling throws a check. It bounces free, however. Picked up by Bisnet. Takes it into the Massena zone. Winds up. Shot is high over the net. Around the boards it goes. Cameron after it. Can he come up with it? He does. Moves it out to center ice. Here comes Cameron. Massena 3-on-2. Cameron slides it in front. Here's a chance. And the shot. And the save made. Great opportunity for Bradish. And he just didn't get much on it. Puck along the boards. Bradish steps in front. He's got it again. Had his stick lifted. And Potsdam breaks back the other way. Here comes Massena. Or Potsdam in the Massena zone. Here's the shot. Save made. And Swamp holds on for the faceoff as breaking in the Potsdam defenseman Schilling. And he just went around the Massena defenseman. Got a shot off.
Two great saves at each end. First, Bradshaw has Jared Bradish was sent in from Kyle Cameron. And, he had all the time in the world, but he got in too tight and tried to get it up. As Bradshaw went down, he tried to get it up, but it was in too tight. Then back Schilling the other way, and a great save by Leroy Swamp.
Off the faceoff, Miller with a puck from Massena. He'll rip it around the boards. Adam Smith with it. Ooh. He flips it ahead. He gets checked, but he's right back up again. Here comes Rogers. Headman pass Trent Thomas. His shot. Save made Bradshaw. So Adam Smith takes a check, but it goes into a 3-on-2. The Raiders get the shot off, but the save is made by Bradshaw.
Hardest check of the night as Corey Burcume just flattened Smith right just inside the blue line. Then the Raiders back the other way. What super passing. Rogers and Thomas. David Rogers has sent Thomas in several times on great passing. I think this is the best I've seen the Raiders pass tonight. Beautiful passing. Had some great opportunities. Young Mr. Bradshaw has been tough down there. He's given up two power play goals. So it's either going to be Petrie's or Rogers. We can switch those around, but we know the goal is scored by Massena, the 7:06 mark, and we're ready to go. Face off deep in the Potsdam end.
Off the draw. Puck back to the point. Raiders control. Danny Miller trying to backhand his pass knocked down. Potsdam breaks back the other way. Here come the Stoners. Nice shift across into the Massena zone, but it's knocked away. And Trent Thomas comes up with a puck. Here's Thomas looking. Flips it ahead. Trying to go to Adam Smith, but it's poke checked before it gets to Smith, right back in Massena territory. Jake Whitcup flips to Miller. Miller rips it around for for Smith rather. Smith can't control. It's dumped behind the net. Here comes Miller after it for Massena. Miller gathers it in, pokes it ahead, has it poke check, but it doesn't get out of the zone. Here's a shot from the point, knocked down into the high slot. Bouncing puck cleared inside Potsdam territory. Slides back inside. Picked up there by the Stoners behind the net. And racing back is Nick Miller. Miller flips it on the other side, but kept in by Danny Miller from Massena. Nick Miller for Potsdam. Danny Miller comes around, gets a shot off. Almost hit the official with that one. Comes to Tubolino, who dumps it in the corner for Petrie. Petrie trying to come up with it, throws a check. It squirts free to Tubolino. Tubolino stick handling behind the net, comes away with the puck, circles, and he tries to pass it. Fanned on the pass. He'll take it back to the point. Miller. Miller shot deflected right in behind, just missed by an inch. Puck in the corner. Trent Thomas trying to throw a check. Also in there, they battle for it. It squirts free. Witka pinches in. He tries to slide it through, but the Stoners will pick it up. Don't clear the zone. Tubolino back there at the point. His shot just wide. Puck will rip around to Danny Miller on the other side. Miller takes it in behind the net. Here's Miller with it. Miller circles. Miller gets upended. There's going to be a penalty. No? Yes?
It might be the net is off.
The net is off.
But I'll tell you, Potsdam are happy to see that, because that line of Tubolino, Petrie, and Hadler, along with number 8 Whitcup, along with Danny Miller on the point, they just had the Stoners hemmed in all over them. They just could not escape the zone. So several good scoring opportunities. Jerry, we don't have to change that. It's official. We went down and checked, and it is Rogers from Sean Petrie on that second goal.
Yeah, okay. Because if we had had to change it, there may have been another assist. But in this case, no. Now it's going to be Mark Darling. Wins the draw. Here's a shot by Cameron right on, and Bradshaw will cover up and hold on for the faceoff. 3:18 left, middle period. Raiders lead 2-0 on the Coach's Corner scoreboard.
Talked a lot about young Richard Bradshaw tonight, his first start, and it's even though he's given up 2, he's been tough.
He has been. Off the faceoff. Raiders control. Darling has it taken away, and Potsdam dumps it. No, they didn't clear the zone. Here's Labarge firing it wide into the corner. Labarge trying to come up with it. He can't. Here comes Potsdam back in the Massena zone. It's Chris Taylor after it. He and Horan go together. The puck squirts free, and it's picked up nicely by Jared Bradish, doing a good job back checking. Bradish across the red line. Breaks from Massena. His shot. Bradshaw gloves that. It goes into the corner. Now Kyle Cameron throws a check on the defenseman. They battle for it behind the net. It comes free, and it's picked up by Potsdam. They'll move it ahead. And they just bounce to an open wing. Will it go far enough for icing? Oh, yeah, it will. And the whistle blows, and icing will be the call on Potsdam. 2:36 left, middle period. 2-0 Massena on the Coach's Corner scoreboard.
Jared Bradish did not see any ice in that first period. He was kind of benched for the period and a half the other night. Coaching staff maybe a little upset that for whatever his effort at a certain play. So he's really hustling out there now. You know, a shift on the bench for a period of the bench does wonders sometimes.
David Rogers to take the face-off. Puck sits in the circle. There's a battle for it. Raiders control back to the blue line. Miller keeps it in, flips it ahead, but it trickles away and out to center ice. Rogers will dump it right back inside Potsdam territory. In behind, it's picked up by Ledger. Ledger drops to an open wing. The puck kept in momentarily. Now it slides out to center ice. Stoners break into the Massena zone, but offsides will be the call. And face-off. Wait a minute. No, it's going to be a penalty. Okay. It's going to be against Potsdam, too.
Well, the Raiders trying to go 3 for 3 on this power play. They've already have 2 power play goals, and both coming in the second period. We've got 2:11 left in the second period. Massena up 2-0 and looking to make it 3.
That's Joe Russell again going off for an interference. So the Raiders on the power play, bouncing around, and Trent Thomas will dump in Potsdam territory. Puck in behind the net comes to Petrie. Petrie's got Labarge at the point but can't get it to him. He dumps it back and all the way down the ice. It'll go right in on Leroy, and he'll leave it for Danny Miller. Miller will rip it around the boards to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Kept in by Potsdam. It'll come back to Labarge. Labarge over to Dan Miller. Miller starts up the sideline. Backhand pass goes all the way by everybody, but Petrie will try to chase it down. It comes back to Rogers at the point. Rogers steps by the check. Gets it knocked away, battles for it, back to the blue line, down the ice. Nice play by Potsdam in behind. There's going to be a penalty, I think, on Massena.
Yeah, it's behind the play. It's going to be a cross-checking. David Rogers took exception to being dumped down in the corner, a little frustrated down there, and as the play went the other way, it's one of those, again, that has a bad penalty. You're on the power play, up 2-0, and in the offensive zone, you take a penalty. I'm sure the coaching staff are going to have a few words of wisdom for young Mr. Rogers. You can't let your frustrations affect the team, and you can't put yourself ahead of the team.
Face off inside Massena territory, 4-on-4 plus the goaltenders. Potsdam wins the draw. Here's the shot fired wide, and around the boards it goes. Here's another shot. It's blocked by Hadler. Hadler trying to move it out of the zone. He does. Ahead to Tubolino. Tubolino breaking in on Williams. Here's Tubolino. Lost it off the end of his stick. He comes in after it. Flips it into the corner, but it's picked up by the Stoners. They'll break back the other way. To the blue line. Not out. Now it's out to center ice. It'll slide all the way down the ice into the Massena zone. And Leroy Swamp comes out of the net to play it and lost it. But fortunately, the Massena defense back to cover up. Hadler gets tied up. Finally flips it ahead to Tubolino. Tubolino knocked away from him at the blue line. Out to center ice, dumped right back in Potsdam zone. Holson, he gets checked. Here's the puck in front. They got a man free. It bounces just wide. Now it's Massena in the corner. Trying to come up with it is Horan. It's tied up there, and we'll have a face-off. 38 seconds left in the Potsdam advantage now.
Nick McAdoo having a great opportunity as the Raiders turn it over inside their blue line. Looks like they were going to clear the line, didn't. Got trapped with two guys outside and three white shirts inside. And McAdoo had a good scoring opportunity, but Leroy Swamp coming up big.
Off the faceoff, Potsdam wins the draw. They're on the power play, trailing 2-0. Here's a shot from the, nope, it's blocked. It was a pass, it was blocked, and the puck picked up in behind by Thomas. Looks to waste some time. Feeds it ahead to Adam Smith, banks it to the blue line, not out of the zone. Kept in. Raiders come up with it momentarily behind the net. Potsdam controls. Miller doing a good job back checking. The puck stolen by Potsdam. They'll go back to the point with it. Here's a shot through traffic. Save made. Puck sits in the slot. Shot. Another save. No, it goes in with 2 seconds left in the period. And Potsdam gets a goal.
I think it's going to be number 3, Luke Holson, who's had several opportunities here tonight, and the Stoners are going to get a power play goal with 2.3 seconds left in the period. Boy, those are real killers when you allow the opposition to get one late like that. And again, you've heard us say many times they did have about 2 or 3 opportunities to clear the zone and just couldn't put enough mustard on it. And that's through a maze of players, a lot of traffic in front, but Luke Holson had his head up all the way, and he found an opening.
And that'll take care of the period, and we got a penalty right at the buzzer, I think.
There is a penalty. We'll see who's going to be. Is it
Adam Smith?
Adam Smith, yeah, it's going to be, see what the call is here. We'll wait to see. The referee, Kevin O'Neill, has not made the call yet.
Charging
on the defending the goal to our right. Stoners to our left.
Tubolino out to take the face-off the draw. Puck trickles to the Massena zone. Picked up by Whitcup, and he'll dump it out to center ice. Stoners control at their own blue line. Mark Williams, he'll just dump it in the Massena zone. Swamp comes out to play it. Plays it into the corner. And it's controlled by the Stoners, Nick McAdoo. McAdoo to the circle. Back toward the blue line. Here's the drive from the point, and the puck knocked down in front, and it's into the corner. To the blue line, kept in. Here's another shot. That's fired wide, and this time it's going to be picked up by Petrie, and he'll fire it out to center ice. A couple of opportunities for the Stoners. Perhaps if they'd been on net, they would have been in the net.
Oh, Nick McAdoo, I don't know how he missed that wide open side of the net.
Puck in the corner. Potsdam controls in the circle. Williams with it. He'll center it right across the goal mouth. But it's going to be Massena's Petrie again finding the hole and dumping it down the ice. Potsdam back after it's Williams. He'll just flip it ahead. Picked up there by the Stoners' McAdoo. He'll feed it to P.J. Smalling, who dumps it in the Massena zone. It's knocked down by Pat Horan. Horan doesn't clear. Yeah, he does clear the zone as Williams couldn't keep it in. I think Patrick caught a little break there. But here comes Potsdam's Williams again in the Massena zone. Horan trying to tie him up. Picked up by Hadler, loses it in front. Here's the shot, save, and it's just wide as Leroy let it get by him, but it went wide of the net. Here's a chance. Holson shot, scored. No, hit the goalpost and the crossbar and comes out of the net. I thought that was in for sure. Swamp didn't see it, and it beat him cleanly, but it hit the goalpost. Now the Raiders with a chance to clear again, and it just trickles out to center ice. Hadler picks it up. Penalties elapsed. So the Raiders barely dodged the bullet.
2 opportunities, had them both beaten. One hit the post, and the other one got through them and out the other side. I don't know how.
Here comes David Rogers. He'll drive it from center ice off the glass. Potsdam back to pick it up. The Stoners will clear it to the Massena line. Whitcup there has a little problem with it. Finally gets it ahead to Adam Smith, and he'll just dump it deep in Potsdam territory. 2-1 Massena leads. We're in the third period. Stoners Williams controls the puck. And we have a penalty on Massena. We do. Whitcup's going to get the call for interference, I'll bet.
And it is definitely going to go up against Potsdam, and it is Jacob Whitcup who's going to get the gate. It is obstruction interference, and Potsdam back on a power play. And those 2 great opportunities, that first one shot that Leroy saw, and I think it went between the legs and hit him on the skate and out the other side. I don't know how that came out. And then that second one from a lot of traffic had him beat, rang right off the right goal post out the other side.
Potsdam bench called that one, Coach.
I think so.
Here comes Potsdam in the Massena zone. Labarge is there to knock it down, dumps it into the corner. Bouncing puck controlled by Miller back to the point. And Tubolino almost got a piece of it, but it's kept in. Here's Miller again. Nick Miller, his shot doesn't get through. Comes to Tubolino, and he'll just golf it down the ice.
3 penalties in a row, and it's tough to kill those off 3 in a row, especially 3 in a row.
Ben Schilling with a puck in his own end for Potsdam. His head man pass to Miller. That's Nick Miller. He'll pass it ahead into the Massena zone, and it will go for icing. And the faceoff will come back inside Potsdam territory. 54 seconds left in the man advantage. 12:05 left in the third period. On the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard, it's 2-1 Massena.
Next game for the Raiders, Friday night at home in the tournament. Jerry talked about those before. West Genesee and Saratoga along with Ithaca. Ithaca on Friday night.
Off the faceoff, shot right on as Hadler won the draw and got the shot on, and the save is made by Bradshaw.
Kind of stunned goaltender Richard Bradshaw. Jeremy Hadler just flicked it forward on the draw and almost got a goal.
He wins the faceoff again, back to Miller. His shot is blocked, and Potsdam controls the puck. Out to center ice it goes. Intercepted by Danny Miller from Massena, and he'll dump it back inside Potsdam territory. Smalling back after it for the Stoners. He'll drop it on the other side to Mark Williams. Williams starts it ahead to the blue line. Intercepted. Dan Miller dumps it back in the Potsdam zone. Mark Williams with about 30 seconds left in the man advantage. They got a man at the blue line busting it all by himself. Shot save, and a good one by Swamp as he just outweighted Nick McAdoo, who came in all by himself. Back to Williams. His shot from the point. The save made. And holding on for the faceoff is Swamp. Leroy with his best save of the game.
Super save. Outweighted McAdoo. Sent in all alone from just inside the blue line. Walked right in. Leroy backed in, waited. McAdoo tried to go to the backhand. And Leroy with that left pad, his best save and biggest save of the night. Ooh, that was a big one.
Holson out to take the draw. Now, nope, they're going to make a change. Shane Bisnet out to face off against Rogers. David Rogers from Massena in the Massena zone. 15 seconds left in the man advantage for the Potsdam Sandstoners. Off the draw, here's the puck in behind the net. Bisnet almost barged his way through. Bounces into the corner. Backhand. Miller comes up with it from Massena momentarily. Takes a whack at it. Hits it with a high stick. It's knocked down. It's out to center ice. And Potsdam touches the puck, so that's waved off. Back in the Massena zone it goes. Actually, Potsdam had thought about it. They would have let Massena touch it, and it would have gone back with a face-off in their end. Now the puck goes up into the penalty box, and we'll have a draw. The penalties elapse, so the Raiders have managed to kill off the 2 penalties, one that started the period and this one.
Down to 10:58 left in this exciting hockey game. 2-1 Massena. Goals, all the goals so far coming in that second period. 2 by the Raiders and 1 by the Stoners.
Raiders have heavily outshot Potsdam, but on the scoreboard, and here's another shot by Potsdam as the puck's just got across the blue line. Stoners control in the Massena end. In behind the net it goes. Racing back after it is Big Joe Russell. Russell tied up by Horan. The puck squirts free to Matt Burrows. Burrows along the boards. He manages to pinch it in. Now Horan will pick it up from Massena and rip it around on the other side. After it is Jared Bradish. Here's a shot from the point. Save made. Leroy Swamp. Here's the rebound. And it's blocked into the corner. Puck along the boards to the blue line. Raiders look to move it out to center ice. Headman pass. Bradish trying to come up with it. He flips it by a check. Puck to the blue line, not out of the zone. In the corner it goes. It's picked up there by the Potsdam Sandstoners, and he'll dump it all the way down, but it's touched by Dan Miller, so he'll have to come back and pick it up. Here's Miller with the puck for Massena. He gets knocked off the puck. It bounces free. Here's Holson, backhand right across the goal mouth. Puck in the corner, picked up by Darling. Darling skates out of the zone. Headman pass. Here's Tubolino. Tubolino takes it across, makes a shift, has it poke checked away, and goes after in the corner, gets knocked down. And the puck bouncing in behind, picked up by Holson, knocked away. Tubolino's there. Here's Tubolino out by the blue line, winds up through traffic, fires it wide. Rebound Petrie in behind the net from Massena. He's got Miller at the point. Miller back to Petrie in the corner. Petrie gets double teamed, flips it ahead. Hadler back in front, cross-ice pass, knocked away. Tubolino trying to come up with it, he can't. Bounces back to Hadler. Hadler back to the point. Here's a chance for Whitcup, finds Hadler in the corner. Here's Hadler trying to move it in front, has it knocked away, it bounces into the corner. Petrie after it. Petrie will high off the glass behind the net. Hadler trying to center, it's in the mesh, and it's tied up there for the face-off.
Stoners came within a whisker, and I'm sure he's shaking his head. Number 6, Joe Russell, just moments ago, a shot from the point that the rebound came right out to Russell, parked to the left side, or to the right of Leroy Swamp, and somehow he missed the wide open net.
Face off in the Potsdam zone. Rogers out to take the draw, gets a shot off. Off the face-off, it's wide on the shot. Comes to Trent Thomas, back to Miller in the high slot, but he can't get the shot off. He's tied up. Now the puck in the corner. After it there is Rogers trying to barge his way through. Goes to Thomas, his shot is blocked. Rogers follows, his shot is blocked. Thomas, Rogers fires again. He fires it wide. Danny Miller in the corner. Miller gets checked. The puck bouncing free to Rogers. Poke checked away back to Thomas. His shot through traffic is wide. Puck goes on the other side. Adam Smith. Rogers gets upended. Now, why isn't that an interference, Coach?
Well, it should have been, and there should have been one down below when just a second ago when Danny Miller got hauled down. There was no call.
Here's a puck in front of the net. It's knocked away, and back comes Miller, and the Raiders, or Potsdam Sandstoners, break it out. Into the Massena zone it goes, across the blue line. That might have been one, too.
I agree.
I think that might have been a makeup right there. But the puck dumped down the ice, and back comes Potsdam. Here comes Williams, headman pass to Nick Miller. Miller dumps from center ice. Swamp clears it up into the wall off the shot, and we'll have a face-off in the Massena zone.
I tell you, it's kind of strange looking down to our right. Our colleagues from 99 Sports, Chris Engel and Tom Longshore, doing the game, but not to see Bobby Alfeld down there for all those years calling the games for 99 Sports.
That's right. Face-off inside Massena territory. Tubolino will take the draw for the Red Raiders.
I don't got a delay for...
Not sure what the...
it's a mouthpiece, yeah.
Okay, Pat McGrath will take the face-off for Potsdam. Off the draw, puck sits in the circle. Here's a shot. Back to the point. Here's a shot. It's gloved, and Leroy Swamp will hold on for the face-off. It came back to P.J. Smalling, who got the shot off, but it was gloved easily by Swamp.
Leroy looking back just moments ago, that great save that he...
Off the face-off, puck bouncing in the circle, gloved in the corner by Tubolino. Controlled by the Raiders. Horan trying to flip over to Evan Labarge. He has it taken away. Puck along the boards, bouncing around Potsdam, trying to work it deep. Tubolino this checking. It bounces free to Labarge. Labarge banks it off the boards, not out of the zone. Dumped in the corner, Labarge gathers it again. Takes it behind the net. Here's Labarge, runs into traffic. He is checked out of the play, but the Raiders come up with a puck. Move it ahead, Hadler doesn't clear. Here's Smalling, his pass intercepted. Hadler can't get it out of the zone, and it's dumped in behind the net again. Puck taken off the back of the glass by the Potsdam Sandstoners as they move it around the horn, back to the point. Smalling can't keep it in, and here comes a foot race for the puck. Petrie trying to come up with it. He's going to come up with the puck. His shot, and it's fired wide. Comes back toward the blue line, but not out to center ice. Now trickles out to center ice. Check's thrown there along the boards to the Massena line, and into the zone it goes. Back after it is Labarge. Still 2-1 Massena. 7:03 and counting. Low, Labarge just gets railed. The puck comes free to Miller. Danny Miller steps it ahead. Nice headman to Petrie. Petrie and Hadler. Miller follows. Here's a shot. Hadler has an open net and missed. Now the puck comes to Petrie, back to Hadler at the dot. His shot. No, it's a pass. It's missed by Miller. But now Danny Miller picks up the puck in behind the net. Trying to dipsy-doodle behind the net. Gets tied up. They battle for it there. Petrie gets it free. It's knocked away from him. In the corner, Hadler throws a check, but the bouncing puck picked up by the Stoners. They move it out to center ice. Jacob Whitcup throws a check. The puck bouncing free, and Whitcup comes up with it. Trying to flip it ahead. It's stolen away. Here's a chance in behind for Potsdam, and into the corner it goes. As the Stoners move it around, drop it back. Rogers intercepts. Rogers has it taken away in front of the net. Here's a chance for Holson. Shot. And it's in the net. And Holson gets the goal as he just stole the puck from the Massena defenseman and took it right in and beat goaltender Leroy Swamp to tie this game up.
Well, he not only stole it, he beat about 3 Raiders who all played the puck. Luke Holson, who's had, he got the first goal late in the 2 seconds left in the period. He's had several golden opportunities. Not the biggest player on the Potsdam squad, maybe the smallest, but very shifty. And he just worked his way through 3 or 4 players coming out of the corner to Swamp's left and walked right out in front and beat Swamp to the glove side.
So that'll tie things up at 2 here. And I don't know why I'm not surprised, but, Coach, I'm not surprised. Even though Massena's pretty much been dominating the game, Potsdam, now that's going to give them a new life. In the corner it goes. Stoners control in the Massena zone as they battle for it there. Rogers throws a check. The puck squirts free to Nick Miller. Miller tied up and gets away from the check. Centers it in front. Shot and the save made. Puck back to the blue line. Here's the shot. Another shot. And that goes in behind the net. Bouncing around. Labarge flips it ahead. Stolen. Here's a shot. Leroy Swamp makes the save. The puck bouncing in behind the net. And Swamp is finally going to cover up and hold on for the face-off.
Oh, Leroy could sue for non-support out there. I'll tell you, Massena really back on their heels, and Potsdam just storming around. And when they don't win the puck, it's given to them by the Raiders. 2 or 3 opportunities. Instead of coming safely along the boards, they're trying to shovel it up the middle, and it's all but white shirts there. And poor Leroy, he's standing tall back there, but he's not getting a lot of support right at this very moment.
Mark Darling to take the face-off off the draw. Potsdam controls. In behind the net it goes. Miller throws a check. The puck comes free. And it's stolen side of the net, but it's poked away by one of the Massena forwards. Now it comes in behind. Miller gets upended. And he just looks to tie it up. And we're down to 5:15 left in the third period. A 2-2 tie hockey game on the Coach's Corner scoreboard.
And when Jerry says the puck is stolen, it is stolen. They're taking it right off the Raiders' stick. They're just delaying a little too long. Indecision out there where to go with it. And, indecision, hesitating, you're lost.
Off the face-off, puck in the circle. Miller picks it up from Massena. He'll rip it around the boards for Kyle Cameron. Cameron, again, doesn't clear the zone. But fortunately for Massena, Potsdam had broken their stick. And the Raiders will clear it out to center ice. Intercepted by the Stoners. Miller will pick up the dump pass. Danny Miller from Massena, that is. He'll flip ahead to Kyle Cameron. Cameron's bounce pass to Mark Darling. Darling will dump it from just inside the red line. Cameron chasing it down in the corner for Massena. Here's Cameron, gets tied up, and the puck taken away by P.J. Smalling. Smalling will pass it ahead. Potsdam will dump it down the ice, trying to get that head man, but icing the call with 4:36 left in period number 3 in a 2-2 tie hockey game.
Kyle Cameron, again, hustling out there, doing a good job and hustling deep in the corner, and just got annihilated by big Nick McAdoo along the boards to our left. You could hear that big crunching sound, and that was McAdoo just drilling Kyle Cameron.
Tubolino out to take the face-off for Massena. Off the draw, Potsdam wins the face-off. Mark Williams with a puck. He skates right in front of his own net. Moves it ahead of the blue line, kept in by Evan Labarge to Hadler. Hadler poke checked away, comes up with it. Here's Hadler to Petrie in the corner. Petrie in behind the net, trying to get by the defenseman. He's got the puck tied up, trying to go to Hadler, but it's intercepted. Cleared around the boards and kept in by Labarge again. Labarge to Hadler, gets by him. It's picked up by Ben Schilling, and he'll come out of the net. There's going to be a penalty on Potsdam as Tubolino got interfered with.
Yeah, that's going to be number 22, Chris Taylor, right in front of the official, in front of his own end, and no question that was an interference call as A.J. Tubolino trying to get across the slot area to get to the puck, and number 22 just wailed him, Taylor, and he'll go to the box for a minute and a half. 4:09 left in the period in the game, 2-2 hockey game.
So the Raiders go on the power play. They've got 2 power play goals in the hockey game. And they have another opportunity right here. Rogers out there, Trent Thomas, Petrie, Miller, and Labarge off the faceoff. Miller takes the draw, gets upended. The puck goes deep in Potsdam territory. Schilling picks it up, rips it around the boards. Labarge cranks it in behind the net. Picked up by Trent Thomas. Thomas circles back to Miller at the point. Winds up through traffic. It's blocked. It hit Rogers, actually. Now it's Petrie in the corner. Gets tied up, stays with it. Looking to tie the puck. The whistle blows, and Rogers had picked it up, tried to center it, but the whistle had blown.
As we said at the top of the broadcast, young freshman Richard Bradshaw, Dickie Bradshaw's son, and I'll tell you, he stood tall here. He's faced a lot of rubber and only given up 2 goals.
2-2 tie hockey game here. 3:48 left. Off the draw, Potsdam wins the faceoff and dumps it to center ice. It'll trickle into the Massena zone. Picked up there by Danny Miller for Massena. Takes it behind the net and starts out right side. Here's Miller. Gets by the check. Miller's got the head of steam. He'll take it inside Potsdam territory, looking up for Petrie in front. He got it to him, but Petrie was tied up nicely by the defenseman. Petrie comes up with a puck behind the net. He's got Thomas in front. Here's Petrie looking, trying to get it to Thomas. And instead, he'll flip it across and way back to Miller, who takes a sharp angle shot. Save made. Here's Trent Thomas. Rebound. Shot saved. Rebound back to Labarge at the point. Here's Labarge with it in the corner. Petrie trying to go to Rogers. Rogers to Miller. Miller passes it in. And Thomas was tied up, and Potsdam will dump it down the ice. Wow.
I tell you, if the Stoners were pick number 1 star tonight, I know who it would be.
Here comes Massena back the other way. Trent Thomas trying to step by the check, but he's upended. And the puck comes back to the Massena line where Danny Miller picks it up. 8 seconds left in the man advantage. Here's Miller's head man all the way back in the Potsdam zone. That's going to take care of the power play. So the Raiders unable to do anything on the power play, but here comes Evan Labarge. Labarge skates across, has it knocked away. Puck picked up by Kyle Cameron. He'll drop it for Labarge. Labarge is checked, but Whitcup follows up, takes it along the boards. Here's Whitcup. He's going to drop it or try to Hadler, back to Labarge. Labarge by the check. Has it poke checked away. Potsdam trying to pick it up. They don't clear the zone. Hadler dumps it in the corner. Just over 2 minutes left in regulation. Stoners clear it to the blue line, and it's intercepted there by Whitcup. He'll dump it right back in Potsdam territory. Stoners control the loose puck. Try to clear the zone. Don't. Here comes Tubolino. He's got room. Tubolino steps by the check. Gets the shot. Save made by Bradshaw. Puck in the corner. Hadler squirts it free, but it's picked up by the defenseman, who clears it into the Massena zone, and the Potsdam forward just turned the wrong way and fell down. Otherwise, it would have been a 2-on-1. But now here comes Potsdam again across the blue line. And that was that Luke Holson. Puck bouncing free. Holson's got it in front. Holson can't get the shot off. He's finally knocked down, and the Raiders break out of there. Tubolino building up a head of steam. Here's Tubolino trying to go by the defense. He stops, loses his edge, gets the puck back. Centering in front, deflected right on, rebound. They battle for it. Puck clear to the blue line. Back to Horan at the point. His shot knocked down. Potsdam breaking back the other way. Here comes Potsdam, 3-on-2. Stoners into the Massena zone. Here's the drive, and the save made by Swamp. Puck toward the blue line. It's kept in there at the point. Puck dumped in the corner. Raiders intercept. Can't clear the zone as Horn gets knocked down. Here's a shot, goes into the corner with 1 minute left. Puck in the corner. Whitcup tries to tie it up. Potsdam controls. They get a man in front. And where's the puck? It's going to go to Swamp, and he's going to hold on for the face-off.
Big saves at both ends of the ice. Richard Bradshaw, he just stoned Jeremy Hadler and Kyle Cameron, and at the other end, Leroy Swamp making a super save on Mark Williams in the dying seconds. We got penalties here, Jerry?
I don't know.
Well, we've got the official coming towards the box, and the face-off looks like, if it is, it'll probably might be matching, but we'll wait and see.
Matching? Yeah, they're going to call matching. Both for high sticks.
21 in white. That's McAdoo. They didn't get the number in the red. 4-on-4 situation, but a little scrimmage to the right of after the whistle of Leroy Swamp. We're down to 53.9
Who got the Massena
seconds.
penalty? Do you know?
No, I don't.
We didn't catch it. So,
Tim, did you see the Massena player?
Who got the Massena penalties? Matching minors, so it'll be 4-on-4 plus the goaltenders. I'm not sure who got the Massena penalty. It was right on the side of the net. Was it Tubolino? No, I thought I saw him go to the bench. Well, we'll pick it up. Is it Tubolino? That's also for high stick.
Face off deep in the Massena end. No, it's not Tubolino.
Oh, it's not Tubolino? Okay, well, we'll find out. Rogers will take the face-off. Off the draw, Potsdam wins. No, they don't. Here comes Massena's Dan Miller. Miller breaks down by one. Here's Miller trying to barge his way through, but he's taken out of the play. And Potsdam picking up the loose puck. Miller steals it again momentarily. Here come the Stoners breaking it down the ice, and that will go for icing. And the face-off will come back inside Potsdam territory.
Potsdam, as you can see, they've been trying to do, and they've come close, and they came close that time. They're getting the Massena defense caught up in the frenzy, offensive end and thinking offense, and they're trying to, when they gain possession, they sneak the weak side wing out immediately, and they throw that long pass, and they've just missed on numerous occasions here in this third period.
Raiders, Rogers to take the face-off. Rogers out there with Petrie. Off the draw, Potsdam wins it. Here come the Sandstoners. They got a man breaking back, and they flip it ahead inside Massena territory. Miller throws a hard check. Puck bouncing in the corner. Miller. Danny Miller with a puck. Here comes Miller looking. Lost it. It kind of hit the Zamboni door, but he gets it back again. Steps by a check. Flips it ahead. A little too far for Petrie. That'll be icing on Massena. And the face-off move back in Massena's zone. 17.5 seconds left in the third period. 54 in the matching minors.
Danny Miller trying to hit Sean Petrie through the neutral zone and just missed him, but goes for an icing face-off deep in the Massena end to the left of Leroy Swamp. As you mentioned, 17.5 seconds.
Holson take the face-off for Potsdam against Trent Thomas for Massena. And now they're going to toss them both out of the circle. Danny Miller will take the draw for Massena against Chris Taylor. Off the faceoff, puck squirts in front of the net, but Whitcup is there to flip it ahead of the blue line out to center ice. Here comes Massena across into the zone. That's Adam Smith. Smith loses at the blue line, but it's kept in there. Here's Whitcup. Whitcup skates in front, shot in the net. Whitcup gets the goal with 1.3 seconds left. He got his own rebound and put it in the net. And the Raiders are going to win this hockey game 3-2.
Jacob Whitcup, boy, I tell you, as he turned out to be the hero of the night, as it looked like we were going to go to overtime. It was a 2-on-2 situation. The Raiders carried it into the offensive zone but lost possession. The puck just laid there. All of a sudden, from just outside the blue line, Whitcup jumped down and he kept it in. He stepped around the defenseman on that right side, went in. It was a 2-on-1 situation. Faked the pass, took the shot. Bradshaw made the save. It rolled down and laid just outside the goal line. And Jacob Whitcup, continuing to the net, just reached around and poked it into the empty net. 1.3 seconds left in this hockey game. Harry's got to be pleased with that one, I'll tell you.
I thought for sure this game was going to go to OT, Coach.
Jacob Whitcup, what a big, big goal.
Boy, that was a long 1.3 seconds, wasn't it?
Oh, boy, and the Raiders out to mob Leroy Swamp. And I'll tell you, and the Potsdam Sandstoners losing a heartbreaker here tonight. It would have been a heartbreaker for either team to lose this one, but I'll tell you, what a dramatic finish with 1.3 seconds. Jacob Whitcup picking up his own rebound as the puck was just laying there, and young Richard Bradshaw was outstanding tonight. I don't know what the final shots are. We'll wake up. Tim will go down and check the shots.